Welcome back, gents. So this is probably the first episode now. The first was just an introduction to who I am, but this one is where we get the ball rolling. And again, look, I don't know where this channel is going to go. I'm just going to talk about the things that go on in my head, the things that I like to talk about, whether that be, talking about masculinity, could be talking about fitness, could be talking about nutrition, could be talking about discipline, mindset, brotherhood, just masculine virtues. Right? I do genuinely believe that this world is missing strong masculine virtues. Men who stand up for what is right, men who respect themselves, and men who respect them back. There's a lack of respect in this world now towards men, and that ultimately comes from men not respecting themselves first. So this is, should we say, episode 1, whatever we want to call it, but let's go for it. And we're going to talk about the 6 dark habits that earn you respect as a man. Now, this is really important. Like I just said there, is we all want respect. That's what it's about as a man. Like if we're being disrespected by women, by people at work, just disrespect in any regard, right? That is probably the worst way to kill or betray a man, right? And sometimes when we get disrespected, it can hold us back in life from advancing. We create these limiting beliefs that we're not good enough, that we deserve to be disrespected. But life is so much better when we respect ourselves and we get respected more from other people. So these are like the dark truths, or at least the dark habits that will give you respect as a man. And it takes time. Like everything in life produces quick results. Like these are going to have to take time for you to work on them. And I guarantee you, I'm still working on them, right? But I do know that these have worked for me. And I decided at certain points in my life that, I need to change and I want to instill stronger habits to help me become better as a man. And as you become better as a man, life gets better. I genuinely believe that. Life for me was terrible at 18. It was terrible at 25. It was terrible like 30 years old. But as time goes on now, I'm starting to look back into my life at my worst moments and think, okay, well, what was I doing wrong? And what did I change? Right? And now, why is it that life is a lot better than it was? And this is, again, why I'm sharing these things with you, because I think it's important. So the first dark habit that we want to get into is silence over validation. Now, when we're younger, we're always seeking validation. This is why we have these big, huge friend circles, because we just want more and more validation. We want to be recognized. When you're younger as a man, like you are at your lowest value because you don't have a lot of skills, you don't have a lot of wisdom, you don't have a lot of experience. So you are constantly oversharing and over-explaining and justifying like your points, even though you might have a solid point. And, you don't have a lot of results. And results come from action, right? And sometimes you don't need to document this. So what I'm trying to say is, like, for example, the gym is a great place to do this. You could go from someone who's fat to skinny, or fat to fit, or you could go from someone who's skinny to jacked, right? And you don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. You can secretly just work hard in silence. And what you'll notice, this has happened to me many times when I've changed my physique, is that the people around me, their opinions change of me. Right? When I go from someone who looks sloppy, someone who just looks ill, who's skinny, or at least a little bit of belly fat, there is almost like a disrespect, like a negative energy towards that. And whenever I feel that, I feel like that validation is breaking away from me, and I want the validation. So then I start to over-justify and over-explain my points, but that also makes me look weak as a man. And the weaker you look as a man, the less respect you're going to get. Make sense? And so when I use the gym, I think it's just a great example because it just speaks the truth. I don't tell people that I'm trying to get jacked. I don't tell people that I'm trying to lose weight. I just get to work in silence, and then that validation comes back. People look at me different, right? And I don't have to over explain things, over justify, and overshare everything. I feel this aura of people who just want to listen, and I don't have to say much, and there's just a huge amount of respect. And that's why my whole life is basically, well, I went from lost to, let's say, you could say from pain to power, a little bit of a Bruce Wayne arc. And every time I went through difficult, painful moments in life, I latched onto the gym. And I remember in those difficult, painful moments, no one would listen to me. No one would care. And I wanted people to acknowledge me. And then as soon as I just got to work and gave up on all that and just worked on myself and said nothing and then gave it enough time, that validation just came into my life automatically. That's just how that one works. So that's number one, like silence over validation. Super important, and one of the main habits that's going to earn you more respect as a man. The second one is saying no without guilt. So we're all people pleasers. Again, it's a human instinct, right? We just want to please everyone. We just want to make sure that everyone is happy. And we become that yes man. And you will all agree with this, especially if you're my age and you're over 30, is that when you look back in your 20s, you just say yes to everything. Are you coming out tonight? Yes. Are you coming out tomorrow night? Yes. Are you coming on this stag do? Yes. Are you going out for a meal? Yes. Are you going to take loads of drugs? Yes. It's like literally you say yes to everything because you don't want to miss out. But what you don't understand in your 20s is that it just takes all your energy. But when you're in your 20s and you're younger as a man, you've got endless amounts of energy. So you don't feel the tax, right? You don't feel that. And when you get into your 30s, everything just starts to slow down. Everything's fucked. And your metabolism slows down, your energy, your testosterone, you start to understand time better and how important it is because it's such a finite resource. And then you start to assess your life and think, wow, like, I need to start saying no a lot more, right? And I need to not be guilty about this, right? You will, if you're younger and you're watching this, as you get into your 30s and above, your friend circle starts to get less and less because you start to say no so much more to the things that are taking your energy and not giving you the feel good, not giving you the reward that you want in life. We're not here for long. You all need to understand that. And look, I've gone through, grief. Two big occasions in my life that I've gone through grief. When I lost my mum when I was 6 years old, and I lost a very close friend when I was 30 years old. And not in the first moment, because obviously I'm young, I'm 6, when my mum died, but definitely when my close friend passed when I was 30, that really spun it for me on how precious time is and how finite it is as well and how much you need to make the most of it. And that's when I kind of like turned around in my life and started saying, you know what? No, like I'm not happy working this job anymore. I'm not happy taking shit from this guy. Honestly, at work in my previous job, I remember just like one of my boss, like he's actually not a bad guy. He's just, you know how it is, this order of hierarchy. I just didn't have any respect for guys above me that didn't know as much as me. I genuinely feel like I knew a lot more than this guy and he was dumb compared to me. But he was older and he got his qualifications, so he was higher, telling me what to do. And just eventually I just snapped and I was just like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. It's not worth my time. I was like, watch your mouth, son. And I almost lost my job. And before I lost my job, I just walked away from it. And I said, no, enough's enough. Like this whole job, this isn't what I want to do. It's a huge tax on my energy, and I know I'm worth more than this. So see ya. It's the same concept. Like I stopped saying no to friend circles, stopped saying no to going out, stopped saying no to drink, stopped saying no to bad habits, stopped saying no to watching TV, stopped saying no to Netflix. I mean, obviously every now and then you're going to watch a bit of Netflix if you've got a chick around, right? You're not doing it for you, you're doing it for her. But this is the important thing, is that once you understand how finite time is, you start saying no more, and you start saying no without guilt, because you know you're doing the right thing for you. And through that, you will earn more respect for yourself. And through yourself, respect, other people will just see that you respect yourself more and you respect your time more, right? And then they want more of your time, which is more validation for you, but you're not going to give it because it's precious. And that's how your respect goes up as a man too. So that's number 2. I like that one. That's probably my favorite one. So the third one is, walking alone. And so walking alone when needed. And what that actually means is like, you're not afraid to distance yourself from people. You're not afraid to walk the journey alone. And this is something not just fitness has taught me, because fitness is very vague. It's very broad. Sorry, not vague. It's broad. But we can talk fitness in the sense of just strength. We can talk fitness in the sense of like bodybuilding, just building muscle. We could talk about running marathons. Running marathons is more geared towards this. And I used to do like a lot of CrossFit, and I went into triathlon training. So I just did like half Ironmans and Olympic distance and stuff like that. And it sucked. I fucking hated it. I hate running. Like I'm like 240 pounds. I wasn't back then. I was like 200 pounds. But going into it, I was a little bit heavier than that, and I lost a lot of weight. But I always pushed myself in workouts. I pushed myself the distance. I always went further, deeper into intensity, into volume. And it wasn't doing it to test my physique and grow my physique in any particular way. I was doing it because the mindset that it was forging. And, again, this goes back to one of the other points where you're doing it in silence. And you're not seeking validation from people, right? You don't need a crowd around you. You don't need a team. Like, that's why like running marathons and doing triathlons I think is quite impressive, because it's a very lonely sport. Like I played rugby, pro rugby. I needed that accountability for my rugby team, right? I couldn't have done that alone. Then I went into CrossFit. Yes, there was an individual element to it, but there was also a team effort behind it as well. So you always had that support and guidance. But then when I flipped it and went into more endurance sports, it was a different test. It's a mental test of being alone, and how long can you be alone for, pushing yourself hard, right? That's where we start to see these ultra marathon runners and Ironmans and stuff like that. They're doing crazy distances. So yeah, like not needing a crowd to support you, that takes time, right? Isolation, just getting comfortable being alone does take time. And, it's easy when you get older because you just want time to yourself. You want time away from your chick. Not today, babe. I've got shit to do. I want to get away from you. I want to distance yourself from mates who want to do drinking and whatnot and watching football. You just want to focus on yourself and go the distance. And again, fitness is a great place to do that, right? Long distance training, running, swimming, whatever you want to do. But being able to do things alone, people look at that and think, damn, that's impressive. Like you can actually be inside your own head for that long and be comfortable. That's what it was for me when I was doing like Ironman training and stuff. It was like enduring this boring, mundane training, and people were watching thinking, I could never do that. I could never sit on a bike for 9 hours. That's crazy. Like what's going through your head? You hear people do it all the time, running. Oh, I can't do running. It's boring. I don't know what to think. So I just like stop. Well, that's the whole point. It's just testing your mental toughness to just be alone inside your own head. And a lot of people watching on the outside respect people for that, right? That's what they see, like a man who can just go alone and walk alone. Okay, so the next one is like controlled aggression. This one's brilliant, and you'll probably see a lot of guys like lose their temper and lose their shit, right? That's not a sign of a strong man. Just because he's jacked and like he's roaring really loud, that doesn't mean like he's gonna get respect for that. Like the men that actually get the most respect are the ones that are strong and disciplined, but keep the swords sheathed. You know what I mean? Like they know how to control it. There's a saying, isn't there, from Jordan Peterson? I can't remember what it was. I think it's like men who have swords, but know how to use them, but keep them sheathed. Like that's what we're talking about here. Like when you see men like that who could literally end the world in a button, but they know how to control it. They know how to control their emotions. That takes a certain someone, right? That takes a certain someone who's gone through a lot of pain, right? He doesn't think emotionally. He thinks logically, even through like tough times, even when things are getting heated. He can control his emotions and think logically. That takes so much fucking time to develop that. Time and time and time again. You'll see some of the best traders in the world. Like these are some of the most emotionally controlled people because it's all emotionally driven. It's psychology. It's right. Everything starts to dip. Do you panic and start selling everything, or do you keep a level head and look for an opportunity to enter the market, right, and buy when there's blood? I mean, it's again, they don't get caught up in all this aggression and fucking anger and stress. They just take a step back, breathe, and look at things logically. That's super important, and staying calm in situations of blood, of madness, of war is I think that is the number one thing you can do. And one of the best ways to do this, by the way, is just boxing. Legit. Like, I know I don't look like a boxer, and I'm not a boxer because I've never had a fight, but I actually enjoy doing sparring and just knocking shit out the pads. And sometimes I'm like, I get angry. I can hear it. Like, I'll drop my left hand and it comes down, and someone sees the opportunity and then gets me, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? And in the moment, you're like, no, actually, like, he wants me to get angry and come forward and then just lose my shit. So I'm not thinking about how I should be moving and breathing and forget all my combinations and all my training, you see? And that's what you see in sport. And a lot of people say this when they have like their first fight. And this, I've never had my first fight, but when I got into CrossFit and started having my first competition, I was shit. I was shit because like I wasn't focusing on what I needed to do, right? I wasn't focusing on my breathing, my technique, like the things that I can control in the moment. And I was focusing on all the things that I couldn't control. And then I got angry and I couldn't control that aggression. And that aggression led me to just fucking perform absolutely shit. So controlling your aggression, controlling your emotions is a fucking superpower. But that thing takes time. So next time someone, like, it's like when you see a fight getting heated up, right? Do you come in and start throwing haymakers, or do you try and diffuse the situation? Try and think long term. Like, is it worth it for me to come in and start throwing big, massive haymakers? Well, if it's someone close to you, yes. But if you've got a lot to lose and like this whole situation can be diffused if you if you remove aggression, right? Because if it's aggression that makes aggression, then fuck, like it's game on, right? But if it's aggression versus hang on logic, like let's think about this, let's just calm down, like there's a lot of respect that goes to the man who can just walk away from like those like aggression and control his emotions. So that's super important. And yeah, people like who like, how do I want to say this, have power without control is just weakness. Like I said before, like if you have a sword and you know how to use it, but you can't keep it sheathed, as in you can't control it, you're a dangerous man, like, and not in a good sense. And you're not a good force for the world. How can you protect and provide if you can't control your emotions as a man? And this is like what's fucking wrong with the world. Is that all these lefty loonies, all emotionally driven? You see them on these like YouTube things, don't you, where someone will say it's freedom of speech and someone will disagree with like a dude who dresses as a woman going into female toilets where young girls are trying to wash themselves or trying to go to the toilet, right? And then you'll have someone saying, well, I disagree with this. And then they'll be shouting at them saying, you're a bigot, blah, 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 and going for it. Like, these, like, that's aggression. That's not controlling your emotions, right? Because they want their worldview stuffed down your throat and you can't say a fucking thing. Like, nah, enough's enough of that shit. I hate that. But yeah, that controlling your aggression, right? When someone takes the piss out of you, when someone starts to get confrontational with you, right, and gets their face right up in your face, right? Learn how to control it. For me, I just smile and laugh and nod, right? And get fucking jacked. Like, if you can do that, get jacked, and you can act like that, fucking hell, watch the respect come your way. Swear down. All right, number 5. So this one is like detached from emotion. So it's the same, like, again, you don't react to things, you respond. So staying calm when others panic builds authority, like huge amount of authority. So it literally is the same as controlling aggression. You'll basically control your aggression and detach from emotions. So it literally, the two marry up together, control aggression and then detach. People recognize that, right? Everyone's always competing. I'll touch on this one real quick, is that everyone's always competing for aura, for people are competing for status, for attention, right? Because without status, without attention, we just become nobodies, right? But you don't get that status and attention, like from what I said earlier, is by like expressing yourself too much, right? Explaining yourself too much, over justifying everything. So you're like, me. Look, I'm the best. I make loads of money. Look at all my cards. I've got banks all over the world. Shut the fuck up. Who cares, right? Who cares? No one asked you to talk, right? Just stay calm. Stay calm in public. When everyone else gets heated up, when those big debates keep happening and people are getting really rattled up, you step back, you peel off from the 100 that are shouting, and you take the logical approach, right? That is a G move. That is a G move. You see all these football hooligans in England, right? Think about it. They're all angry. They're all emotionally driven. They're full of drugs, full of drink, and they're not thinking logically, right? And if you could separate yourself from that, I guarantee you would get more respect from many more people. Maybe not from the 100 that you peeled off from, but you will get respect. You will get more respect for doing the right thing and not engaging in a crowd where they can't control their emotions. All right, number 6. So unapologetic standards. So you just demand more from yourself. This one's good, man, for me, because when I was at my lowest points in life, when I went through like depression, and then that depression turned into anxiety when I was 18 because I dropped out of college. And, you know, I didn't demand anything from myself. I blamed everyone. I made excuses. I didn't take ownership. I didn't say, look, I'm here because of me. I'm here because my mum died. I'm here because, like, all my mates left me. I'm here because the college teachers were shit. Like, that's not a man. You will never get respected when you act like that, when you start blaming other people, right? You're gonna make mistakes in your life, right? You're gonna be dealt a bad hand. And some more examples of this might be that maybe you go on to build a business, right? Maybe you detach yourself from a 9 till 5 the way I did. Maybe you go on to build a business. Now you're lacking information. Now you need a mentor. Maybe that mentor does you dirty, like doesn't give you the information you want and just takes your money, right? So, like, what are you going to do about that, right? You just need to understand that you can curse that person all the time and then just be stuck there. Or you can just say, right, that's my fault. That's my fault. I take ownership of that. I take responsibility of that. Like, where do we go from here? How do I demand more for myself in this moment? Well, actually, just understanding that I made a mistake. And then I'll just put that into my strategy moving forward. Because I demand more for myself. I know that this little thing that's happening in my life right now isn't my life. Like, I'm going beyond this at some point. So, yeah, demanding more from yourself is huge, and your environment as well. You know, I've said this multiple times on here that I've actually left so many people behind in my life, not because I hate them, it's just because I hate their habits. I hate what they talk about. I hate the fact that they don't really share about what they stand for or they stand against. I hate the fact that they waste time and they don't understand how valuable it is and how finite it actually is. And it's going to take them till, 50 years old and a health problem to make them understand how finite time is before they actually make change. I'm not hanging around for that. Right? I demand more from my environment. I want to be around killers. I want to be around competitive people who want success, people who want to build the businesses that can help more people in this world, right? To build a legacy that they could be proud of, instead of just being that person who never really tried hard and always complained and said, oh, I was always too busy. Too busy with what? Too busy with just fucking terrible habits because you didn't demand more from yourself. And you could have separated from those environments at any point in your life. That's exactly what I did with mine. I got fucking fed up. I was fed up of being in an environment of people who were just tire kickers, people who were just had no drive, no purpose, didn't want anything. Like, what sort of life, to me, what sort of life is that? It's not the life that I want. I demand more from my environment, which is why I left that environment. And I found new people who are all about personal growth, personal development. They want to get better every single day, as do I. And these are the types of people that I like to hang around with and associate myself with, because I think it's super important. And, it's building consistency with that. So building consistency of just unapologetic standards, smart standards that are going to build you as a man, and being in that environment and being around an environment of people with similar high standards, so you can all rise together. And what you'll end up getting is, as you're on your ascent here, as men who are strong and disciplined and consistent, you will get more respect from people. Initially, loads of people will fucking hate you because you're moving away from them. But eventually, it starts to go to, oh, this isn't just like a thing he's doing. This is actually him wanting to be better, wanting more, right? And then it earns you more respect. That's what I'm saying. It earns you respect from people in your environment for you wanting to be better because they also want to be better, but it also earns you from respect from those who envy you. Like, they'll hate you because they envy you, because they actually respect what you're doing. It's the crab bucket effect, right? You are that crab that actually manages to get out the bucket. And they all hate your guts, even though they might not say it to your face, or they're all saying something. You better believe it. They're all saying something. And it's usually the ones that'll see you again and go, oh, I love what you're doing. It's so amazing. Like, you're doing great. I love your content. Oh, yeah? Why don't you like it? Why don't you comment it? It's those guys. Those guys are the ones who are there having a few cheeky pints and saying, what the fuck is he doing? Who's he hanging around with? Who's he think he is? When actually they hate their life and they don't know how to get out. And that envy is just jealousy, and it's jealousy which is actually respect. It's like, fuck, he's doing so well, like I'm not. It's making me feel like shit. So in order for me to feel better about myself, I need to break him down and make him look like he's a piece of shit so I can sleep at night because of my shitty life, right? But there's no respect in that for that person. Like, taking people down and trying to bite their ankles. Fucking hate ankle biters. Like, there's no respect for that. But yeah, like, this is what I mean. So look, just to kind of finish this out, those 6 really good key points. But if we really talk about being respect, you want more respect as a man, it takes patience, right? It takes patience, but it also takes knowing yourself, really digging in on yourself and thinking, okay, like, I want to be the best version of myself, but find out why you want to be the best version of yourself. Why is being the best version of yourself So important. Because once you understand why you want to do that, for me, I just want to look like my mum's watching. And I want to be the best version of myself for my mum, but not only for my mum, for my dad. My dad worked his nuts off to support me and my brother when we were kids. Right? And I used to hate him for it because I never used to see him. But now I understand as an adult, I know how hard that was for him. So every single fucking day I get up and I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to be around the right people who are going to help me become the best version of myself, and I will help them become the best version of themselves. Right? And through that, I remove all the bad habits and distractions. And I'm not perfect. No one's fucking perfect. We all slip back into bad habits every now and then. But it's about doing more good habits than you do bad habits and being consistent with that. And over time, watch how your life changes. Get in the best fucking shape you possibly can. Work on your business, work on your career, try and climb the career ladder, and there will be more respect along the way. But have good fucking morals, good standards, right? Don't backstab people, don't betray people. Like, there's always enough bread for everyone. Like, don't be greedy in that sense. And just keep working hard and being consistent. And as you climb your ascent as a man, you will feel more respect coming your way. It slowly happens and you can feel it. It's like a cold wind. And it's just, I get it. Like, my actions are now starting to speak to people. Even though I'm not voicing them, my actions are changing who I am, the way I walk, the way I talk. You don't know it, but other people know it. And that's that chilling little wind, is that every now and then you just know that more respect just keeps coming in because you're doing the right things every single day with the right people. Guys, that's it. This is the first episode. So 6 dark habits to earn you more respect. I'm going to come back with some more belters. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next one.